So as a kid, I'm pretty sure a lot of us ran across a couple of those cartoons that were really out there. Those cartoons that were like really hard to explain when it came to whatever you were watching on the television. And we're going to talk about one of those shows today. And it's not going to be the only show we talk about like this on the channel, but we're going to start off with this one. Today, we're going to be talking about the Problem Solverz. And I pretty much just want to talk about the series as a whole, talk about my personal experience with the series, why the show is so strange, and why the show came to an end. So if you guys have any thoughts of your own that you want to share with me when it comes to your experience with the Problem Solverz, the comment section is right there for you guys because I'm very curious to hear your experience with this show. So let's just dive straight into this. So the Problem Solverz hit Cartoon Network on April 4th, 2011, dreamed up by Ben Jones from the art group Paper Rad. It's about Alf, Roba, and Horace, three oddball detectives fixing crazy problems in their town, Barbaro. Think roller coasters that mess with time or video games gone rogue. It's nuts. It started off as a pilot called Neon Gnome for Adult Swim back in 2007, but they passed on it, saying it was too cute. So it got reworked and landed on Cartoon Network instead. Not your typical kids show, that's for sure. It's got this artsy experimental edge that feels out of place next to, say, SpongeBob. The look of it, it's wild. It's all Adobe Flash of these blinding neon colors, reds, greens, and blues, like a video game from the 80s on steroids. The designs are flat, loud, and in your face, almost daring you to keep watching. It's chaotic, and that's kind of the point. So yeah, The Problem Solverz is this quirky detective show in this psychedelic wrapper. It ran for 18 episodes in its first season, then dropped 8 more on Netflix in March 2013 for season 2. It's not for everyone, maybe not even for most people, but it's got a vibe that's hard to ignore. Let's keep digging. Alright, let's meet the crew behind the Problem Solverz. First, there's Alf, this big, furry brown thing that's part human, part dog, part anteater, but looks like none of those. Voiced by Ben Jones. He's loud, loves pizza way too much, just charges into everything. He's the chaos engine of the group. Then you got Horace, the human with a funky buzz cut, voiced by Kyle Kaplan. He's the chill one, the leader who tries to keep things sane. Well, as sane as they can be here, and he's got this cool level-headed thing going. Though, he's got his own weird tics, like wanting to impress people. Next is Roba, Horace's twin brother, also voiced by Ben Jones. He's this anxious, brainy guy who dresses like a robot because he's terrified of humans. It's such a random twist, but it works for him. He's always overthinking, which makes him kind of endearing in a nervous wreck way. So why was the Problem Solverz so bizarre? Let's start with the visuals. They're insane. Bright neon colors flash at you like a strobe light, no shading, just pure sensory overload. People legit say it could trigger seizures, and I get it. It's like staring into a kaleidoscope on overdrive. The story's totally out there. You got this stuff like a roller coaster aging kids 100 years, or a ninja hide and seek game that's way too intense. It's not random for no reason. It's like Ben Jones wanted to see how far he could push it. The humor's weird too. Fart jokes, Alf yelling about pizza. It's crude, almost like a late night comedy sketch. The characters don't help either. A furry anteater dog, a robot twin with anxiety, a fancy dog in a tux. They're not your usual cartoon squad. They bumble through stuff, half solving problems by dumb luck. It's like they don't belong in a normal show, and that's because they don't. It all ties back to Paper Rad, Ben Jones' art crew. They're all about surreal, neon, drenched chaos, and this show's basically that on TV. It feels like they should have stayed on Adult Swim because Cartoon Network wasn't ready for something this unhinged. That's why it's so strange. It's art first, cartoon second. Time for my take. I first saw the Problem Solverz as a kid on Cartoon Network, probably 2011. I was flipping channels and bam, those colors hit me like a brick. It wasn't like Adventure Time or anything cozy, it was loud, wild, and kind of overwhelming. I think it was the video game episode, but I couldn't look away. Back then I didn't know if I liked it or not. It hooked me because it was so different, but it also freaked me out a bit. The flashing lights, Alf's yelling, and all of it. I'd laugh at stuff like Alf getting stung by bees, but then I'd wonder what I just watched. It wasn't a go-to show, just one I'd catch sometimes. It stuck with me though, because it was so unforgettable. I'd bring it up to friends and we'd just go, yeah, that was a trip. I was upset, but it definitely left a mark, probably why I'm making this video now. Revisiting it as an adult, I see it differently. It's still a lot, but I respect how fearless it is. It doesn't care if you love it or hate it, it just goes for it. Hit Me was confused but curious. Now, I think it's kind of cool in its own messed up way. Still not sure I'd binge it though. So why did the Problem Solvers bite the dust? Well, people hated it. Plain and simple. Critics called it ugly and boring. Viewers couldn't stand the visuals or the stories. It kicked off with 1.1 million viewers in April 2011, hit a high of 1.6 million for the Mayan ice cream caper episode, but the numbers tanked after that. It didn't just catch on. The first season wrapped of 18 episodes in September 2011, and that was it for Cartoon Network. They made a second season, 8 episodes, but didn't even air it. It got dumped on Netflix in March 2013 instead, like they were washing their hands of it. Even Netflix pulled it by 2015. I think the network saw it wasn't a fit. It wasn't like Ben 10, no toys, no big merchandise push. Plus, it was too weird for the kids slot. Too artsy, too niche. Ben Jones has said he just wanted to make something fun and different, not chase ratings, so maybe he didn't fight for it either. In the end, it was too strange to survive. It's got a tiny cult following now. Some folks online swear by it, but they couldn't save it back then. After Netflix, it just faded out. Kind of a shame, but also makes sense. It was a wild ride that didn't know where to land. So those are my overall thoughts when it comes to the Problem Solvers. I definitely wanted to tackle a lot of these weird Cartoon Network shows because Cartoon Network definitely had a lot of these shows back then when it came to one of those shows you were watching where you're like, okay, you know, I'm gonna watch this episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog or whatever was on around the time when the Problem Solvers was airing, and all of a sudden, boom, the Problem Solvers. Oh my god, what is this? So it was definitely fun to talk about the Problem Solvers within this video, just giving you guys my, overall thoughts on it and everything. But now I'm gonna leave the ball in your court. Like I said earlier, if you guys have any thoughts you want to share when it comes to your experiences with the show, or just anything in general revolving the Problem Solvers, be sure to let me know down below. And if you guys enjoy the content on this channel, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All the links to those are located in the description below. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified when I'm dropping a video on the channel. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.